What's it like to visit a museum dedicated to the last US president to not technically be a war criminal by the standards of the Geneva Conventions? This is the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library in Atlanta, Georgia. Officially and legally, presidential libraries are archival and museum institutions established to preserve and make accessible the papers, records, and other historical materials of US presidents from Herbert Hoover onward. Unofficially, it's each president's last chance to try to shape the historical record, to tell the story of their administration from their perspective. In this way, the Carter Library stands out in both scale and tone. It is dramatically smaller than the other libraries. Less than 70,000 square feet. That's only about a third the size of his successor. Reagan's library is almost 250,000 square feet. The Carter Library also spends a lot less time mythologizing Jimmy Carter. President Carter was notoriously modest, and where the Reagan and Nixon museums tediously go through every minute detail of their lives, or the Clinton Museum engages more with Bill Clinton in the pop culture zeitgeist, the Carter Museum stays almost laser focused on not just the work, but the values that drove the work, both during the administration, but famously after the administration in his post-presidency humanitarian work, which he did through the Carter Center, which shares a campus with the Carter Library. President Carter was not a person free of moral failure. But I will say, walking through this museum dedicated to the pursuit of human rights during this particular time, it's hard not to long for a different kind of leader. One who's aware that power is not a right, but that it should be a burden. Since Herbert Hoover, only JFK, Lyndon Johnson, and Jimmy Carter have not been buried at their presidential libraries. Unsurprisingly, Carter opted for a more modest burial near his home in Plains. Now, I will say, while I appreciate the humbleness of this library with his legacy, I hated it with the gift shop. One t-shirt, the Nixon gift shop eats him up.